People want to catch this later. Okay, cool. So, hey everybody, how are you? My name is Celeste Richmond, and I have been a coach with Herbalife for the last 2 years, and it's been an amazing journey. Started off as a client, wanted to lose a little bit of weight, got to a point where I started having an office body. And from sitting in a cubicle for 8 to 12 hours a day can do something, especially with not putting great nutrition in your body. So I started to gain weight, and I began my nutrition plan and was able to lose 28 pounds. It dropped my body fat by 12%, which was really, really great. Started feeling more energetic and just started liking the way that I was looking in the mirror better, and confidence boosted. How you doing, Jacob?
Amazing.
Good to see you. I was like, Jacob better come. Awesome. Cool. 1 minute? We gotta do it. I'll do it with you because I have my own reasons of, why I need to do push-ups. Okay. Awesome. So, welcome. So anyways, started coaching. People wanted to know what the deal was. Like, this is new, Celeste. What are you doing? You're smiling. You're happy. You're getting into better shape. You're hanging out with all these fit people. You're a part of a new community. What are you doing? Some people wanted to hop on as clients. Some people wanted to hop on as coaches after they discovered the opportunity. And there's room for everybody. Some people just wanted to come to the workouts and they were a fan of the community and the lifestyle, and that's okay too. They just brought really, really great energy. So there's really room for everybody in what we do. And here we are 2 years later, and the lifestyle of a president's team member is incredible. This company is so good to us, and it's truly a blessing. Like, it really, really is. And the coolest part to me, like, as I speak about being a president's team member, is I want to cast the vision that we can all get there through hard work. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today, is like exercising the muscle of discipline and understanding that we're going to fall short sometimes. So I want to be transparent. I feel like I fell short this morning. I didn't wake up. I didn't make a 6 a.m. workout. And, oh, you went? Okay. So Jacob knows I wasn't there. And I was like feeling some type of way. Like, when I woke up, I was like, dang. So there's going to be both sides of it, right? So I just want to be transparent that, on this journey, we're all going to fall short of perfection, right? And I don't want to sit up here talking about discipline and be inauthentic about it, because, today was an example where Celeste fell short. But the great part about it is, you do your personal development, you get your mind right, and then you realign and you retract. Like, okay, so now I'm more fired up than ever to make sure I'm like the first person at the workout tomorrow. And, because I've been doing pretty well about it. But so I was listening to Jim Rohn on the way here, and he was saying, walk away from the 97%. And what the 97% is most of the population, right? And it's not bad. It's almost the way that we've been cultured to just kind of drift, like to not have a plan, to just kind of wake up and be, to kind of just exist, right? And not really isolate and work your day with purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
And another staggering fact, right? Been listening to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, guess how many people will retire and have the means to retire off of their own income and savings versus like a retirement plan or pension or like Social Security. Like, how many people retire and actually have enough money that they've accumulated and have like in different accounts and stuff to legitimately retire off of? Does anyone want to take a guess? Like, literally 5% of the population. So 95% of the population, when they get old, they either can't retire or they need assistance from somewhere else, right? And that's crazy. Like, that's scary. Now, that wouldn't have been that crazy to me probably a couple of years ago. It would have been like, what do you mean? That's just what people do. They get Social Security. Like, they depend on the government. They do all these things. And like, as I began to grow and as I began to like learn about finances, taking like responsibility, and there's nothing wrong. No one's wrong for doing any of these things. Trust me, that people in my family do that. But how good would it feel for us to really like hammer our financial freedom and grow it and build it big in this company to where like it's a beautiful thing that we can live like that. Like, it's not about the bling. It's not about being flashy and driving, super nice cars. That stuff is nice and we'll get that too. But it's really about building a financial wall around our family, right? And so one of the things why it's tied in with Herbalife is because Herbalife is actually a vehicle to create that financial wealth that's going to sustain not only our lives, but our kids' life. If we want, if we work really hard, if we live disciplined lives. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So, this was part of it, the 97%, walk away from the 97%, walk away from the drifting, from the, not even being able, Jim Rohn said, there's people that won't even like walk around the block for their health, and that's not really, we don't really see that too much in Herbalife because people are fired up about getting into the best shape of their life, for the rest of their life. And that's awesome, but really think about the people outside of this community that we can help. A lot of people are stuck in a place where, they're in that stagnant place that I can speak on behalf of myself that I was in when I was working. I just got used to not working out. And Jerry Graham, President's team member Jerry Graham, said something really profound. I don't know whether he said it in person or on stage, but he said something when we were in Philadelphia, and he was like, some people have no idea that the last time they worked out or while they're working out, that was going to be the last workout that they ever had. Like, because something happens where a day goes by and then 2 days goes by, and the next thing you know, 10 years goes by. They had no idea that last workout was going to be the last workout of their life. It's crazy, but that happens. There's people that are like on it for a little bit, and then they kind of fall off, and it just breaks their whole routine. And then it's like they just drift through life, right? So it's just like being aware of this, being aware of the challenges that we face and everything. And, with exercising the muscle of discipline, it's always going to be a journey. It's never something we've arrived at, ever. Like, it's always going to be something that we've got to work on. Like, I'm committed to working on it. I'm not committed to being perfect because that doesn't exist, but I'm committed to the challenge of working on it every single day. And if we fall short, do your personal development and walk through it and get out of the funk and don't bring it with you for the rest of the day, right? We have the tendency to beat ourselves up if we fall short. I'm somebody that holds myself to a very high standard. And I know that you guys are too, or you wouldn't have shown up, and you wouldn't have shown up on Ustream, right? So we hold ourselves to these incredibly high standards, which is good because I believe that we're better because of it, right? And, the main thing is, understanding that to exercise discipline, we got to see the value. We must have the awareness of why discipline is important. Okay? Like, if we don't value discipline, why would we aspire to live a disciplined life? Does that make sense? But one of the things I love about Herbalife is that Herbalife teaches us how to dream about our future. Herbalife teaches us how to live or how to envision the ideal future that we want. Right? And if anybody's on Ustream and you haven't done this yet, maybe you're a new coach or somebody, maybe you're a seasoned coach, but really get clear on what your ideal future looks like. Get clear on the type of place you want to live, the type of impact you want to make, right? It goes for everything. The type of fitness shape you want to be in, all these different things, right? So if we can connect our actions, right, to and our discipline to being able to get us the life that we want versus drifting through life and not having a plan, we can see the importance that a disciplined life will give us, right? And that's the main thing right there. And sometimes when we come from being in the 97% to aspiring to be in the 3% that's, living, speaking a different language, right? Not talking like the 97%, but aspiring to talk like the people that you see are moving and shaking and doing things. They use a different language. All these different things, right? You want to aspire to be a part of that 3%. I aspire to be a part of that, right? And we're all works in progress, and we're all going on our own journey. So when you're making that transition of living a life where you're just kind of being, right, rolling through life, rolling with the punches, not really having a plan, waking up whenever you want to wake up, talking like you hear people talking on the radio or on TV or whatever, very basic language, versus challenging yourself and speaking a higher level of awareness language. There's a transition where we must rewire. We must rewire our cable of that is teaching us and telling us what to do that we've been doing for so long. Because we create habits. Hi there, how are you? We create habits that run our life, right? Hi, is this your first time? Welcome.
Hey.
What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, how you doing? How'd you hear about Herbalife University? Parents. Yes, I love it. Did she tell you that if you're late, you have to do push-ups?
She just told me now. I was like, I'm not forgetting. I can't get it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We should maybe do something about that. There's no one else waiting? Okay.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect. Okay, well, you're only, how many minutes? Jacob's
12.
probably on it. 12 minutes? Okay, you got this. Healthy, active lifestyle. Let's do it. So again, perfect. And we all do push-ups when we're late. You got it? You look ripped. You got like a, yeah, she got a little something. Okay, cool. We got 12. We're going to cheer you through it.
Yeah, see? You want to help with that?
Right. So that's that.
Yeah.
Right. 1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Welcome, Michelle. So we're just talking about discipline, and we're talking about, things like walking away from the 97%, which is most of the population, and the way that most of the population lives is kind of drifting through life, rolling with the punches, not really living a disciplined life. And we want to be a part of the 3%, which it strives for greatness, I guess you could say. Building a financial wall around our families, like being, taking care of our bodies, being aware of what we put into our bodies, treating our bodies like it's our temple. And again, no one is perfectly, I believe, like in the 3% at all times. There is no perfect human being, right? We strive to be a part of that 3%, and we'll probably waver sometimes. But being a disciplined person, there's people, if we had to draw a spectrum of discipline, right? If we had to draw like, here's a line, and this is like no discipline, right? Or zero discipline. And this is like perfection, right? So perfection all the time. Okay, so absolutely nobody is going to be right here. No one. And no one is going to be over here, I doubt either. There will be people that are like really bad in the trenches, and then there's going to be on the spectrum really highly, everybody will be somewhere along this, right? This is about middle. This is probably like average, typical, like Americans, just living their life, right? So there's gonna be different levels that we operate at, and we want to be over here. We want to strive for that, but no one's perfect, and there are going to be times that you fall short. So just making sure that we understand that, and we always course correct when we're thrown off. We course correct and re-up on our PD, personal development, and just get it going. So, okay, perfect. So, rewiring our habits, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Okay, I know, right? So much research, right? Yeah. So much research tells us that if you do something and you're committed to it for 21 days, it will pretty soon just be easy, right? We'll create and form new habits, right? So who remembers like the first 3 weeks of starting their nutrition plan, right? So it was like, it was new to get used to, okay, I gotta have like, what time is it? I gotta eat. Okay, I gotta, okay, shake time. Then you go, you put your, 2 scoops of this, 2 scoops of that, your ice, and you blend it, right? And then it's like, okay, it's tea time. Oh, it's snack time. Got to eat every 2 to 3 hours, right? And it was really like this checking and making sure you're doing everything right. You may have even been in a place where you were sending your coach text messages. And then it gets to a point after a while where it's just second nature, right? Like I don't really even have to look at my watch anymore or my phone to tell me when to eat. I mean, here and there, my body just pretty much knows. And it's now systematic, right? And that's what this is. It's 21 days to form a good habit. So I invite you guys to create and form a new habit over the next 21 days. Okay? Something to make you slightly more uncomfortable. Okay? And I'm going to take this on with you. And really, like, it can be, there's always an area that we want to get better at in our lives. Okay, so I've really, I made the decision 2 days ago that I was going to be like, I'm already pretty good with my nutrition, but I wanted to take it to the next level and be like a little bit more strict, right? And just an example, like it was hard. I was telling somebody about this. My boyfriend took me to this place called the Pancake House. Okay, so we went in. And he's very disciplined when he wants to be. And you just smell, you walk in and you just smell breakfast food, like hash browns and potatoes and pancakes and syrups and like, warm coffee and there's all these things, right? Hi, how are you? Good to see you. And you just smell like all these foods and then it's like your senses start going crazy. And then that little person or whatever, devil, starts being like, well, would it hurt? Would it be so bad if you were to have this, right? If you were to, would it be, you can order an egg white omelet, but you can also get the pancakes on the side that come with this Pancake House, after all, you're there, right? Those little voices will show up. And I went in with the goal of like, okay, just killed the workout, and now I want like an egg white omelet with vegetables and maybe some turkey, bacon or sausage or something to be in it, right? So it was like those confronting little moments of like, you have a decision to make. How are you going to show up for yourself? And there's going to be a lot of times, it was a little easier for me because we were holding each other accountable, right? I was like, all right, I can't, if he's going to be ordering the egg white with nothing on the side, I can't be ordering it with nothing on the side or with something on the side either. And, but there's going to be times when we're by ourselves and nobody else is going to see, right? And then those are the moments. Trust me, like I've had plenty of times where I've fallen short, even after I started Herbalife, right? Nobody's perfect. But when we have this conversation with ourselves, and discipline is always at the top of our mind, and when we value discipline because we can see the type of life that it's going to bring us, right? That was another thing, like picturing our ideal life and understanding that living a disciplined life where maybe discipline for you is waking up earlier than you usually do. Maybe discipline is like being more on point and real with yourself of how are you really doing on your nutrition plan, right? And then maybe it's like, you know what, I'm only working out 2 days a week. Maybe I can make that 3 days. maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do this. Whatever that is for you. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it's saving more money, not spending so much money on shoes or clothes or something like that, and putting a little bit more money to the side because you've been wanting to save for so long, and it sounded like a great idea, but it just never seemed like money would ever, or it goes in the savings account and it goes right back out. Like you transfer it for a day, and then you transfer it back in your checking account and you're like, I gotta use it, right? I've done that before. And so whatever that is, right, we want to, the reason why we're talking about this is something that, it doesn't stop at president's team. You don't just got it when you're president's team. Like, I'm in the game with you. Like, it's a constant thing we're working on. And when we create the conversation of discipline and we understand that its significance in our life, especially as health coaches, because we want to be the example, right? We want to be the example for other people. If we're not living, this is key right here. As health coaches, if we are not living disciplined lives to a degree of our definition of discipline, right? Setting our own goals, because it's according to our goals. If we set goals, we want to follow through with them, right? So if we're not exercising that muscle of discipline, how can we ever expect our clients or our coaches to exercise their muscle of discipline? Does this make sense? And so it's about having that conversation and becoming better, right? And then, I believe that when we talk about it more and we actually bring the conversation of discipline and we strive for it, right, we're actually going to start to hold ourselves more accountable. We're actually going to be like, okay, if I'm talking about discipline so much, I got to actually be disciplined, right? And I think that that's part of the reason that I was like, dang, like, why didn't I wake up this morning? Because I've been talking about discipline so much. And I was just like, I fell short, right? And so it's one of those things. All right, cool. Like, no problem. Rewire, personal development, get over it, move forward, and reroute, right? Reroute. That's the beautiful thing about navigation. You have it on your phone. Navigation tells you to go right, but you continue to go straight, right? Continue to go straight. What does it do? There's an option to reroute, and it's going to create and form a new route for you since you got off track. You drove off course, and you went a mile in the wrong direction, but it's okay. You reroute, and it's going to tell you the new way how to get to your destination. So we get to do that too, as well. So just want to talk a little bit about that. And I know that there's actually new coaches that are going to be on today on Ustream. And how long have you been a new coach for? Or I mean a coach for? Since May? So for about a year. Awesome. Cool. Well, it's good that you're here. That's really great. So you're not necessarily a new coach. But what are some of your goals, Michelle? Like with what, why show up today?
Because I told my sister, not upon that I will, since I'm off this week for spring break and the kids are out,
yeah,
I'm coming to every event.
What? Yeah, clap it up. Okay, cool. So this is really great. In Herbalife University, we usually talk about a subject, right? Whatever's on our hearts. And usually we'll share personal development, which I really actually do want to do. Who here has done personal development this morning? Okay, perfect. Love it. All of you guys. So we can get a share from a couple. So from you three, we'll get a share of what was your personal development. So this was my personal development this morning that I shared with you guys and some of the epiphanies that I'm having. So I would love to hear, some of the things that are landing for you in your personal development. Jacob, you want to start?
Sure. All right. What's up, Ustream? Love you guys. All right, it was amazing. Today, my personal development came from the drive.
Okay.
The drive here, so I stay right down the street.
Nice.
Like I said, not to say anything wrong, like about like my friends,
Mm-hmm.
people, I used to hang with and stuff, but I'm driving. Like I said, no one's perfect. Our habits and discipline. I'm like, man, like a year ago, well, it's about to be a year. It's my 11th month. Like, it's about to be a year. Like a year ago, I decided, to do Herbalife.
Yeah.
Like just like my transformation as far as just the way I think, my discipline is crazy how it's kind of lining up. My discipline, the things I used to do, my old habits. I'm like, it's amazing. I would see like certain friends. I just remember like, I had like so many people like telling me, don't do it. Oh, you being fake now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all these different things about me starting because like you said, you have to have discipline if you really want to be successful in the business. Not only that, but be a good role model to your clients or people you have around you. So I'm just like, it's amazing. I still have like I'm still going. Like I said, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm still going through a lot of things, but it's like my maturity level as far as what I have become and what I've noticed myself doing now is like pretty amazing. And it's just like, no, you're never going to be perfect, like like you said, but like sometimes you do have to pat yourself in the back because as far as just us being in this community and getting rid of some of our old bad habits, you do have to make changes. You do have to hurt people, and you will take a lot of criticism as far as you being fake or you not doing the old things you used to do. So definitely be part of this 3%.
Yeah.
And, like I said, just give yourself congratulations because it is an ongoing learning process.
Wow, I love that. So do you guys want to say what you got from that from what he shared?
For me, well, I would say like more of like learning how to separate and break away from that old
Mindset.
Yeah, and then you're moving around. Like you're attracting and becoming more to where you want to be.
Right. I like the way you just said that. So Tiffany said that it's okay, right? We're probably, trust me, I've been clowned. My friends have clowned me. They've said Celeste is changing. She's different than she used to be. She's just drank the Kool-Aid. She's part of the Herbalife family. Why do they have so much energy? All these things, okay? And all of that noise is coming from the 97%. But Celeste is aspiring to be a part of the 3% because they're doing things for their future. They're doing highly uncomfortable things because they know that they're working for things that most people will never have. So it's going to be a different mindset. It's going to be a different culture. You are attracting the 3% versus the 97%. So don't you think when you're in that transition to going and attracting the 3%, those type of people in your life, right? The Jacobs, the Michelles, the Tiffany's, the Celeste, the Styles, I could go on, right? People with very strong mindsets, if you're going to be that way to attract those people, there's going to be backlash with your old community, just the way that it is. This gets me fired up, can you tell? So, thanks for that, Jacob. That is amazing. So, I love that share. It's so important that we talk about it, right? This is going to happen for everybody. If you want to be great, people are probably going to talk about you. And I'm so glad that I did not listen because I wouldn't have the things that I have right now, and I wouldn't have each and every one of you guys to call family. That means more than anything. And I felt that way at World Team. I say this all the time. Like I felt like I was living the best life ever at World Team because it's not about the money. When you get to President's Team, I'm telling you, money is great. Get to President's Team. It's phenomenal. But I felt this way, this warmth in my heart, way before President's Team. I felt that way at Supervisor, at Senior Consultant. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never been this happy. I've never been a part of like something that is as great as this. I've never felt so in alignment with my purpose in life. That type of stuff, that feeling right there is unbelievable. So I love that. I'm glad we got to. Did you want to share what you got from it?
It was kind of similar to what you said, but it was mostly don't continue to be defined by where you used to be.
Yeah.
And sort of embrace the growth that you're going through, and the journey that you're going through, because you never know where it will lead to. And for a lot of those people that will say, harsh things or not agree with where it is that you're going, they eventually they'll end up seeing your progress, and then you encourage others to progress. So awesome. It's like a full circle.
Dope. Love that. Want to share your personal development?
Yeah.
Cool. Michelle.
It started yesterday and then it's going into today. So I talk to my sister a lot, but we have different personalities. So sometimes we clash in a good way because we're sisters. I love it. But and then I was exercising with my cousins yesterday in the morning, and then one of my best friends called me, and she was like, I know I fell off. I'm trying to get back into it. It's like, can you come and run with me? I was like, I just exercised, but let's go. Yeah. So we had a whole conversation, and what I could see is just not only how my language has changed from talking about health, talking about goals, talking about where we're going. Yeah. She could sense that, and then she acknowledged that. So it was just like, I helped her change, and she's also helping me to change. Because she was like, you helped me with my health, and we're going to go this journey together. So it's just, everyone's just pouring out. So it's letting me know that I have a power, that we have a power in order to change people. Even though we might not see it now, but eventually it's all coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like personal development machines, like the ability to take what we know from like personal development and being in the community and to other people, pouring it into them and then helping them grow. Now you guys are growing together as sisters. That is awesome. Thank you. Okay. What up, Tiff? Want to share?
Okay.
Looking stuntastic.
Thank you. So my personal development, actually was reading this book that Mike had suggested or recommended when he did Herbalife University.
Okay.
And it's kind of like everything all together. But the last chapter I was reading was about finding the right people. And so I kind of thought of that in that way of attracting others. But it was more of in a way of saying, because I feel myself sometimes I'm like attracting different people. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. But I'm understanding at the same time how to be more beneficial to other people who do want it. Yeah. Or who do desire change. Because I can see like some people like, they come around, they come close, and they're like, they're not really, I don't know, it's kind of like this process. And so I'm just like, okay, that wasn't the right one. So I guess it's more or less me being more specific in the goals that I have within Herbalife and also like within my life, because I always been towards this place of vision, focus, discipline, but I just didn't know how to arrange it. Okay. Herbalife gave me a clearer understanding.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love it.
Basically what I got.
Cool. And do you feel better like you just talked it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes when we like just talk it out and articulate like what's going on in our mind, we get a little bit more clear about what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So a lot of times it's like more or less because I'm a writer, so I write, and when I speak, it takes me a longer time to process what I'm saying. So I can write it like, but I'm just trying to process whatever I just learned and explain it to you guys.
I love it. Clap it up. Oh my God. I can relate to Tiffany. I'm somebody that, you know, in the past and still can have a tendency to be in my head when I speak. And, you know, one of those things that, because I'll want to be right. Right? We have this tendency to want to like look good and be right. And so I'll be in my head about what I want to say because I want it to come out perfectly. But then I found out that the way that it's going to really connect with other people, and right, because now this is like an invisible training. So invisible training meaning like we're talking about what we say and how it lands with an audience, okay? So it's not even about the content of what you said, right? So do I have permission to coach you? Okay, cool. So the reason why I felt compelled is just because I see so much of myself in you. And I've been coached. It's actually something that I've been working on because the exact word that you use, processing information, and I'm a writer as well. And so I would literally stumble over words because I would be like, gosh, I'm like processing all this information that's coming my way, and like, hold up, I gotta like think about this before I come and I just say, versus actually just coming and giving from the heart, right, of what I'm feeling, and not being too much in my head, but trusting myself. Where there was a lack of trust with myself that I had, that didn't trust that I had it within me to just say. And so that was a block that I've been working on, and I'm still working on, because especially I feel because I'm speaking from a stage platform more and more lately, right? And it's a great thing for everybody to work on and be aware of, because if you aspire to speak on a stage platform in Herbalife or outside of Herbalife, you all have that opportunity, right? There will be that day that you're gonna get there. So I almost wish that I had heard about this a while back. So now another invisible training. So invisible training means just a training within the training. So there's an actual content that we're training on, and the invisible training is like, taking note of how somebody is speaking. If you're looking at it from like a trainer's standpoint, you're like, okay, well, how is Celeste speaking? Is she pausing? What's her voice inflection like, right? I always tell my team, I would say, pay attention to people on stage. And now they do. They're like, oh, I was like looking at this person, how they were speaking. I was paying attention to all these different things. So they're paying attention to the training, but they're also paying attention to how somebody trains, because they aspire to one day be on stage. So it's like the invisible training that's happening. So reason being is, so now I'll really I'll do the personal development, right? And get up there, and I'll on purpose do Herbalife University. I'll do my personal development in the morning, and I won't pre-plan Herbalife University the day before or something. I'll get what I'm going to deliver from what's going on from the heart. So literally, it was the topic of discipline. It was the fact that the 6 a.m. workout, the fact that I missed it, right? And the fact that I told people I was going to be there. So that was another part of it. I felt like I let someone down, okay? So all these things that are happening as I'm doing my personal development from the heart and the way that I'm feeling, right? And so I'm like, okay, so now I'm listening to personal development about discipline, right? And I was like, I want to go in there and I want to speak from my heart. I want to be authentic. I want to be transparent about where Celeste has fallen short, right? Because that's a lot more relatable too. Because someone can get up here and talk about how they're just amazing and they're just such a beast and they're just perfect, right? But at the end of the day, who here's fallen short? Okay. So, and probably everyone feels that way, probably raising your hand on Ustream. Everybody raise their hand, 100%. It's just something that's a part of life, right? So if we talk about it and not wrong each other for it, we can actually move forward. So part of that, the reason I'm talking about this is the getting out of your head and getting into your heart will deliver a powerful message, right? And this really doesn't have anything to you, because I just thought that was great what you just said. Now we're just kind of talking. It reminded me of this happening right now. So it's super powerful, because when we get into that place, now this is the cool part about it. This is how it relates to everybody. The newest coach on Ustream, newest coach in the audience, right? When you are doing a wellness evaluation and you're speaking to a potential new client, you will connect with them more when you speak from your heart versus being in your head. My first couple wellness evaluations, super in my head, wanted to make sure the information was right, wanted to make sure that I didn't look bad, right? Wanted to make sure that it was perfect. And, it affected the way that I was sharing. So if we can come from a space of, oh my gosh, these products have changed my life. Like I've been able to lose 28 pounds and 12% body fat. Like what that did for me is, you know, I regained confidence. I didn't feel that confident before. You know, there would be times where I would, but there would be times when I wasn't, where I would be really in my head. And, you know, the thing that Herbalife has given me, it felt like it's given me that confidence back. Because now there's certain clothes that I'll put on that I feel like I can walk in a room with my head held high. And I can have conversations and look people in the eye where I might not felt enough before. Now, if you, like that just came from my heart, right? So if you share that with somebody and you're not worried about being like, oh my God, is Formula One protein 9 or 10 grams? And you're worried about the content and all the information and the information being perfect. People want to hear stories, right? They want to hear the impact. That's going to be much more important than all the information in the world, right? Because at the end of the day, what's going to move them is how it makes them feel and how you make them feel. And when you share from your heart, you're going to connect straight to their heart, and you guys are going to like be able to bond almost. And what that's going to do is be so powerful. So I never know what I'm going to say in Herbalife University. Really don't. Again, it's exercising that coming from the heart, because I so wasn't a person that came from my heart all the time before. Very much in my head. So that's how it relates to the new coaches. So we have some steps for new coaches that we'll get into. And for people that have been in the business a little bit longer, right? This is stuff that we take and we teach the people that we want to bring on board as a new coach, right? And so, let me see here. Let me just make sure we wrap people on the thread. I see you, Charla. Cool. I see Drew plugged in, Erica plugged in, Felicia plugged in, probably more people. That's awesome. And awesome. So step one is begin your nutrition plan, right? And why this is so key for a new person is, again, goes in right with what we've been talking about, being able to share from the heart. If you or someone hasn't began a nutrition program and they try to talk to somebody, it's going to be 100% in the head, right? If you share from a space of gratitude because the products have gotten you results, that's going to come from the heart. And it will land so much more powerfully with the new client / coach / friend and family member. So that's going to be the number one thing. It's the difference in the way that we share, coming off as a salesperson versus coming off as a powerful client yourself that wants to pay it forward. Cool? All right. Number 2. Tiffany, you want to share? Is it packaging your story? Or is is it mastering wellness? I get the numbers mixed up. Again, I come up here with no notes. Mastering wellness evaluation?
No,
that's 3, yeah. Package your story, right, okay. Number 2, package your story. Give it up for Tiffany!
Yeah!
2 is packaging your story. You want to package your story so that you'll be able to say it within a 30-second time frame. Before you started Herbalife, the action you took, which is starting your nutrition plan, and R's for results, BAR. So my bar is, before I started Herbalife, I was really lethargic. I didn't really have like a lot of confidence. I had it here and there. It was sometime. My coach invited me to a workout. I saw all the energy and I was like kind of pumped up from that. Tasted a sample of the tea and the shake and started my nutrition plan, and my results were I've been energetic and just instead of being sometimey and
Okay. Do I have permission?
Go ahead.
Coachy? Okay. Who feels like she's in her head right now? Okay. Do you feel like you're in your head, trying to be right and look good?
Yeah.
Right? Like Celeste right over here. It's me pointing to myself. Okay. Perfect. This is an awesome opportunity to share again and just feel. I want you to trust yourself that you really got a result from Herbalife, right? Perfect. So share just how it made you feel, right? Before Herbalife, share how it made you feel. You don't have to repackage a new story, but maybe the one you practiced or whatever comes up from you, just know, like, pretend you're just talking to a client or a friend. Like, don't be like, oh my God, I'm talking to like these people and a bunch of people on Ustream. Don't think about it like that. Just like be Tiffany. The way you are around your people, like, be that person.
So
it's okay if you need to take a second. It's all good.
okay, before I started Herbalife, I was really lethargic. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was commuting from Riverside to LA, so I was really tired all the time. My coach, she invited me to a workout. I was amazed at the energy level of everybody there. I started my nutrition plan, and I've been energetic ever since. And I'm on the bus and not tired compared to when I was driving and tired.
Nice. Okay, cool. I actually felt like you were literally, it was better. Like you were actually sharing not from a space of thinking in your head, but you were just sharing. So it was better. And there's opportunities. I invite you to practice in the mirror and really just come from a space of, like, when I tell my story, I want you to critique yourself, okay? So self-critique and reflection. And be like, okay, every time you share your story in the mirror, ask yourself, would I want to follow me, right? Would I want to hop on products after hearing me just share my story, okay? And then you'll be able to be like, okay, let me refine and reroute. Let me reroute this. Let me retweak this. And then change it up a little bit. And then maybe change up the way that you say it. Add a little bit more excitement. Or maybe if it's inauthentic for you to add that much excitement, try something that is authentic for you, right? And then that way, it's going to be a process where you develop it. You're going to develop your story. My story, when I first began, was very different from the story that it is today. Okay? So it's perfect. Thank you. Give it up for Tiffany.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Perfect. And then number 3 is mastering a wellness evaluation. Boom, I love this one.
Yeah.
So step number 3, master a wellness evaluation. So I'm becoming more clear, right? As somebody who's being asked to travel and train, right, with the company, doing an LDW in Dallas in 2 weeks, guest speaker there, big responsibility. Scary for a first timer, right? First timer on the road. I've done 3 STSs, but an LDW, that's like 3 days of training, right? So I'm basically in front of the room for like 7 or 8 different sections, right? It's a lot of training. Whew! So, no problem, right? Why I'm sharing this before mastering a wellness evaluation is because, right now I'm developing the trainings of how I've built my business, because I don't want to get up there and share how other people have built their businesses. The reason they're asking Celeste Richmond to train is because they're interested in finding out how Celeste Richmond has built her business. So one of the things that I'm for sure clear on is Celeste Richmond has built her business on wellness evaluations, okay? That is a funnel into our business of getting people on the phone, on Skype, here in person, right? You could have them meet at a restaurant, at your home, at the nutrition club, like, when it's open, things like this, or just get them on the phone and be like, hey, do you have time? When do you have time to really talk about your goals? You don't even have to label it as when do you have time for a wellness evaluation. You could be like, I really want to get clear about where you're trying to take this, where you're trying to take your body, so that we can customize an amazing plan for you. That's all a wellness evaluation is finding out what somebody wants to accomplish, their goals, why they want to accomplish their goals, right? Get measurable goals. So, okay, great, you're 175 pounds and you want to get down to 150. So you want to lose 25 pounds. Perfect. How would that change your life to be able to get rid of this 25 pounds? Envision yourself walking into a room, 25 pounds lighter, probably more muscle definition, probably put on a little bit of lean mass, feeling good, got that definition, in that dress that you're going to be wearing. Picture the ideal outfit, and you walk into a room amongst your peers, and you just feel like you're like looking the most fly, feeling the most fly from within that you've ever felt, okay? You walk in, and in that moment, people stop to look because it's like they see that evidently you've had a mental and physical and like spiritual transformation. They can feel it. How do you feel in that moment? So you just literally casted a vision out for the person, right? You just painted a picture with your words on what is possible. And you brought them to their end result before they've even started their nutrition program, okay? These are things that as we develop in our wellness evaluations, we can powerfully enroll people in what they're going to get out of changing their life and making a decision to live in the 97% in a disciplined life. Now, you don't necessarily have to say that to them, but it's powerful. So, casting that vision out for them, and just sharing what's possible. Imagine how they're going to feel in that moment, right? I was just picturing for myself, like, dang, Celeste, like when you get this extra 10 pounds off too, taking your results to another level, what's that going to be like, What's your girlfriend's face going to look like, or your boyfriend's face, or your husband's face going to look like when you walk into that room looking fly as ever? They'd be like, dang. Because it's not only going to be, or the person you like, maybe you ain't Buddha. Maybe you want to be Buddha, right? So that person's face, because it's not only about how you look aesthetically, right, physically, but it's about the respect that people will have for you for deciding to change your life, for deciding to be a part of that 3%. Wow, that takes something. That takes discipline. That takes like having ambition. It takes a fire lit within you. Now you're drawing and painting out what that's going to feel like for them, the rewards, why we should live a disciplined life. We've got to enroll people in living a disciplined life, because not everybody sees the value in it, right? So, wellness evaluations is that process, okay? You're not going to be perfect at wellness evaluations in the beginning. It's a muscle you develop. The more wellness evaluations you do, the better you get at them, okay? And there is tools for your help. You can always talk to your mentor, and they can walk you through how to do a wellness evaluation. We also have how to do a wellness evaluation on our website. There is a Monday night call that was done on it, and there was a training that I did when I was probably active world team or global expansion team. It was sometime in 2012 that was done, and people still listen to it and like it today. And I love it. I haven't redone the training on purpose, because when that wellness evaluation training was being, like when it was made, I was in the state of doing the most wellness evaluations that I've ever done in my life. And I was on my world team grind, right? You can be on your world team grind at any pin. But I was in the trenches doing wellness evaluation after wellness evaluation. An expert, right? So now I still do wellness evaluations, but when you're building your business at a certain point, you're going like faster than ever, like you're in that peak state of wellness evaluation zone. So it's like I purposely, as a millionaire team member, a president's team member, am not going to redo the wellness evaluation training that I did when I was active world team or global expansion team, because I feel like at that point, I was in the biggest zone of wellness evaluations, and so it wouldn't even though I could probably do a better job at it now, there's something special about it being in that point in time. Like there's an essence of it, even I probably speak even a little bit different. I probably was not even as groomed as I am now, but there's value in that I find. I just find value in it. So that still gets passed around. People still tag people in it. It's great. I love it. Walking through people how to do it, like we can learn. We have tools here in resources. It's awesome. It's perfect. Master a wellness evaluation. because literally that's something that you can do from anywhere. You can talk to your circle of influence, right? Like, you don't have to get somebody down to a fit club to do a wellness evaluation on them. You don't have to get them to an HOM to do a wellness evaluation on them. You don't have to get them to, I mean, these things are great to get people to. Don't get me wrong. When you can get somebody to an event, there's nothing like that. But when we can master a wellness evaluation, like, I never had any excuses to not produce, because I was like, I could do a wellness, if they can't make it to something, we can do a wellness evaluation on them. And to get to supervisor, literally, it was like, that was all I saw. I need to book as many wellness evaluations as possible to get as many people health results and get as many people feeling amazing as possible. And so it was that intention that was set. I was still working in corporate America full time. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, right? And I would plan on doing wellness evaluations on my lunch break. So literally, I would be like, okay, before work, I have a time slot of like 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. where I can do a wellness evaluation. And a lot of my East Coast wellness evaluations would come in the morning, sometimes at 7 a.m. because it's later on the East Coast. So I would sometimes wake up early and do that because I've lived on the East Coast. Again, circle of influence, have a portion of that on the East Coast. And then I'd be like, okay, midday, there would be people from all over, maybe East Coast, maybe West Coast, where on my lunch break, I would be like, all right, what time am I going to take lunch today? 1 to 2 p.m. I pre-planned it out so I could do that. I worked at a school. I would go in the other room, and we had empty classrooms when classes weren't in session. I would take a wellness evaluation form that you can find on the Get Uncomfortable Squad page, and I would print those out. And I would just do it because it walks you through, that wellness evaluation page walks you through how to do a wellness evaluation, along with the trainings that you get from your mentor and maybe from listening to some of those calls. And I would sit there and I'd be like, all right, I have 2 wellness evaluations planned, meaning 30 minutes per wellness evaluation. And I would sit there and I would talk with people. Some people would say no, some people would say yes, and people would get on products. And it was literally, that was how I was able to get to supervisor within a month time period, because it was driving like that through wellness evaluations. Very clear on that. Cool? Awesome. So what is step number 4, Jacob?
Build value.
Build value. All right, cool. You got this? I think you do. You're an expert at it. This is like the Jacob section right here.
It's hard for me to go up after that. Can we give it up for like, and that was amazing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Like when you did like the 25, like you took me like I was ready to pay for my nutrition. Let's go.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, so definitely build value after the purchase. So definitely after you have that great wellness evaluation like Celeste, right? And a person like, all right, I'm good to go. Like, let's go. You don't want to make it feel like, okay, I'm gonna give you a product, start a nutrition plan. All right, talk to me 30 days. Or you want them to be even more excited about actually buying, or I guess starting a nutrition plan once the transaction is finished, because now you know, like, you're not just using them to get value points or to get money. And then you have to definitely let them know, like, I'm here for you from day one and pretty much to the rest of your life. Because that's why I tell my people, like, if you lose 20 pounds, like, number one, like, I mean, we're going to have a great relationship. I'm like, I hope you don't want to just cut me off after you lost your 20 pounds. But I'm like, this is like a long-lasting bond. So that's another way I build value in a person. Like, you have a long-lasting friend now, not only as a health coach, a mentor, etc. So definitely you just want to give them, like, you want to put all your energy, because we already know, as far as a health coach, we have 100% faith in the products. We know if they stick to the plan, it's going to work. So like you said, we have to cast that vision for them. So we're already like really happy and excited because they're starting. And we know they're going to get to their goal if they follow A, B, and C. So now we have to put that energy into them. So now, like, they're ready to go, and even if they do fall off, they're still able to continue back on. So build value after the purchase is definitely just putting that great energy and having them be very certain that they're going to get the results.
Awesome. Yep.
And turn up.
I was like, you can do it. Awesome. And then I can go ahead and do the next one. The event. I forgot the events. So number 5, right? The steps for new coaches and the steps that we teach our new coaches is plug our people into the next event, right? So if it's a client, plug your client in to the next event in the community, right? Or if it's a coach, plug them into Herbalife University. Shameless plug. Plug them into the 6 p.m. workout, 6:30 p.m. workout on Thursday nights, right? You can plug a coach or a client into that. It's a tool to either come and continue to get great results as a client, to introduce, so functions of a fit club, right? I like to really have people understand, especially new coaches, the multiple functions of events, okay? So say there's a fit club, right? We want to teach our new people, right? If we can bring a guest, a first-time guest, you bring them with you and they're going to be exposed to the community, the positive energy. They're going to be exposed to post-workout nutrition. Now they're trying the shakes. And it's going to open up their horizon to what Herbalife is. They're really going to get a bigger picture on what Herbalife is. Now, you can also have clients that come, their second, third, 100th time to a fit club, and that's powerful because they're staying engaged in why Herbalife. Who has ever had a client fall off their nutrition program? Okay, so inviting them into the community is going to help with retention, because if we're telling our stories on a weekly basis, they're able to hear and stay consistent in why it's important to stay on your nutrition program. They're more likely to stay consistent if they're around other people that are staying consistent, right? And again, they're being fed that great energy that's making them feel awesome. So that's another thing. Now, teaching our coaches to build out, I'm just using Fit Club as an example, but there's other events to bring people to. So teaching our coaches how to build their business, right? If they want to be a business builder and they say, one day I would like to get to president's team, I would say, great. So then we need to develop a health coach and business builder mentality, right? And so to do this, you're going to want to build your business locally. And for people in Ustream land, if you're like, but I don't have a fit club, create one. Be a part of the, not the 97%, be a part of the 3%, right? 3%. It's uncomfortable to start your own fit club up. Why? Because you got to be accountable. Why? Because you got to be disciplined. Why? Because sometimes you got to wake up early. Sometimes you got to stay in bed. Out of bed, whatever. You got to go to bed late, not in bed. Right? Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes one person is going to show up. Right? It's that accountability of I'm going to show up no matter what, or I'm going to make sure that there's arrangements otherwise if I can't show up. Right? So there's things about that, right? The only way, right? It's a big responsibility to say I'm going to do Herbalife University on Thursdays because I've made the commitment that I'm going to show up no matter what if I can, unless I'm traveling with Herbalife. Really, the reasons why I've missed in the past is because I've been sent somewhere else with the company, okay? So my commitment to the company and corporate and Herbalife International trumps everything, right? And this is still part by Tim. This still trumps everything. It takes the cake. So, and we're all a part of that. So where I'm going with that is plug your people into the events, and if you don't have an event, right, make an event. But we all have events because we all have corporate events, okay? So we all have access to leadership development weekends, right? You might have to drive a little bit, right? They're out in DC last weekend. They drive to Philly for their LDW. It's like a 2-hour drive or something. People were driving in or taking a bus in from New York, right? It's that commitment to being at the events no matter what. Because we've decided, for the people that have decided, and there's nothing wrong if people haven't decided this, for the people that want to build a business and one day get to president's team, part of that journey to president's team is that you show up to the events. Never met somebody that's made it to president's team that didn't ever come to an event. Just put it that way. Sometimes fallen short, didn't make one, but usually they're at the events consistently because they believe that being a part of this event structure is duplicatable and people will plug in if you plug in. When you lead from the front and say, hey, guess what? I made the commitment to go to extravaganza, okay? Yeah, okay, let's show this. Tiff had to leave, but I believe so. Jacob, right, and Michelle, they've committed to going to extravaganza, and they see that showing their commitment for extravaganza means they're leading from the front, and now their people are more likely to come with them because they've made the decision that no matter what, they're gonna go. And it's an investment, right? It's a flight, costs money, right? We're not usually, you know, those type of things aren't easy when we're trying to make ends meet every day to be able to invest. But it's that 3% mentality that's going to say, I see the value in extravaganza. I see the value of investing in myself, my dreams, and the people that believe and have bought into the dreams. There's value in investing in them and being a part of this collective experience together. So it's that 3% mentality that's going to go no matter what to your no matter what events, right? Not every event has to be a no matter what event. Pick a couple. I say pick 3 a week that you want to be a part of and build your business out of, okay? So things that I've committed to. Herbalife University, Thursday mornings. Saturday quick start training. So that's Saturday supervisor school, as well as the new coaches training that we're a part of and we lead. And then, you know, Monday night call is something that I'm committed to, right? So we pick our no matter what things, and then all of the events, all of the SDSs, leadership development weekends, January spectaculars, and extravaganzas. I'm committed to the Herbalife calendar of the 1 event a month. So, because we know that that's how we can groom ourselves and groom our leaders. So we plug into the next event. And that, my friends, is the 5 steps for a new coach and what we want to teach our new coaches so that they can build a successful business, a successful life, and live a very disciplined life. 3%. 3%, baby. Let's go. Who wants to be a part of the 3%? That's what I'm striving for. So I'm fired up, you guys. Thank you for joining Herbalife University, and have an amazing day. Woo! All right.
I can tell you missing answer. He is on fire today.
Man, on fire. On fire! Okay, let me stop.